Hello everyone. Our today's topic is body wall of Herdmania and Branchiostoma. First, we will discuss about the body wall of Herdmania. Herdmania की body wall को mantle भी कहते हैं, but this mantle is visible only when the test is removed. As we all know, the body of the Herdmania is covered by an outer covering which is called test. This test is secreted by the mantle. The mantle remains suspended inside this test. As you can see, as we all know, the body of the Herdmania is divided into two body parts, that is the body proper and foot. So it in the body proper part, which is the anterior part of the Herdmania, the mantle or body wall remains suspended below the test, and it remains attached only at the two regions of the body proper. The one is the branchial aperture, as you can see, and the other aperture is atrial aperture. Means जो mental है वो दो region से ही यहाँ पे attach रहता है. Rest in the body it remains free. The mantle is not uniformly developed throughout the body proper. Means कहीं पे ये thick होगा, कहीं पे thin होगा. So now we will discuss about that. Now, if we divide the body of the Herdmania into two types, that is the anterior dorsal region, and this is the posterior dorsal region. So, first we will discuss about this is the dorsal part, and at the back there will be ventral part. So, this part above this is the anterior dorsal side. So in this region below the test, here the mantle is not visible because the here it is shown the test. So just below the test there is mantle, and in the anterior dorsal side the mantle is thick, highly muscular and opaque. Again I am saying it is thick, highly muscular and opaque. Whereas in the anterior dorsal side, the mantle is thin, transparent and without muscles. So this is the posterior dorsal side of the Herdmania. And the internal organs, which we generally called as viscera, are quite visible through this. In this region, internal organs are visible. Why? Because here the mantle is thin, so we can easily see the viscera. Now, mantle encloses a large water-filled cavity which is called as atrium. So this was all about the general information about mantle. Now, if we look at the histology of the mantle is divided into three cellular layers. First is epidermis, which is the outermost layer. Second is mesenchyme, which is the middle layer. And the third one is epidermis, the innermost layer. First, we will discuss about the epidermis. So epidermis is the outermost layer of mantle or body wall, and it is a single layer which is formed of flat and hexagonal cells. Hexagonal cells means which has 6 sides, and this outer epidermis, as I told you previously, that mantle secretes the test, and in mantle also the layer which secretes the test is the outermost layer, which is epidermis. Now the second or the middle layer is mesenchyme. Just below the epidermis lies the mesenchyme. And this mesenchyme, as we all know, there are three germ layers. तीन germ layers होती है, ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So mesenchyme is derived from mesoderm. मेसेंकाइम जो है वो कंसिस्ट होती है बहुत सारे कनेक्टिव टिश्यू फाइबर्स की, जिसमें नर्व फाइबर्स, मसल फाइबर्स एंड एक्सटेंसिव ब्लड साइनसेस प्रेजेंट होते हैं. और इसमें जो मसल फाइबर्स होते हैं वो थ्री टाइप्स के हैं: एनुलर मसल्स, लॉन्गिट्यूडनल मसल्स and the third one is branchioatrial muscles. Now in this diagram, as you can see, first we will discuss about annular muscles. So here you can see the annular muscles. These are the annular muscles on both the apertures or siphon. So annular muscles surrounds each siphon, as you can see, in several circular rings. So in each siphon, the annular muscle is present. Now the second one is the longitudinal muscles. As you can see, these are the longitudinal muscles. So they arise beneath the branchial as well as atrial aperture, and they reach up to the middle part of the body. Here you can see. And the third one is branchioatrial muscles. These muscles are not shown in this diagram, but these are few muscles which extends deep between the two siphons. तो ये यहाँ पे बीच में present होती है. तो third one is branchioatrial muscles. And the third one is, that is the innermost layer, is the epidermis. This epidermis, it is the inner ectodermal single layer, and it is formed of flat polygonal cells. Epidermis, I told you, was hexagonal cells, and in this epidermis, which is the innermost layer, the cells are flat, whereas in case of outer epidermis, the cells were also flat, but they were hexagonal, and in this case, they are polygonal. So this was all about the body wall or mantle of Herdmania. Now we will discuss about the body wall of Branchiostoma. So the body wall of Branchiostoma, if we see from outside, it composed of three parts. First is the skin, which is a thin and is composed of skin, which is a thin, delicate and transparent. The second is musculature, which is very well developed, and the third one is peritoneum. First, we will discuss about the skin. Now, the skin, which is also called integument, it contains an outermost single layer of cells, as you can see, which is called as epidermis. So this epidermis is made of columnar epithelial cells. As you can see the structure, these are the columnar epithelial cells. So epidermis is single layered cell composed of columnar epithelial cells, and they are attached to a basement membrane. This is the basement membrane to which they are attached. जब ब्रैंकियोस्टोमा younger होता है, then this epidermis is ciliated. Cilia are present over here, and as it becomes adult, the cilia are lost from the epidermis. So this is an important thing which you should remember. And a thin layer of chitin-like cuticle is being secreted. So on epidermis, in young individuals of Branchiostoma, cilia are present, whereas in adult the cilia are lost. Now the this epidermis contains certain sensory cells, but gland cells and pigment cells are totally absent. So there is some sensitivity shown by the skin due to presence of sensory cells in the epidermis, but there is no secretion because there is no gland cell present, plus the body is not at all pigmented because there are no pigments present in the epidermis. As we all know, the body of the Branchiostoma is translucent. There was no color. Okay? So that's why, that is because of the reason that there are no gland cells and pigment present in epidermis. Now immediately beneath the epidermis, there is a very tough, thin and compact fibrous connective tissue layer which is called cutis. This is the epidermis. Just below this, here you can see, this is the dotted and dark structure which is called cutis. And under cutis there is a thick spongy structure. This from here to this is the subcutis. So comparatively, if we see the thickness of cutis, this is a small region, whereas the subcutis, you can see it is a bigger region. So below epidermis there is a layer called cutis, and below cutis there is another spongy layer which is called subcutis. Now first, this subcutis is made up of gelatinous matrix. These all dotted structure which you can see, it is made of gelatinous matrix in which it has nerve fibers. As you can see, this is the nerve cells and blood vessels. These are the blood vessels. So in subcutaneous, nerve cells and blood vessels are embedded. There are also a few scattered nomadic cells like this. If we can draw here, it is not shown here, but there are few nomadic cells. Nomadic cells means which can move. So there are few nomadic cells which are equivalent to or similar to fibroblast cells in vertebrates. And the main function of fibroblast in vertebrates is the secretion of extracellular matrix and collagen. So similarly, those nomadic cells which are present in subcutaneous, they secrete this gelatinous matrix in the body wall of the branchiostoma. Now we will discuss about the musculature, the muscle line just beneath the skin. So first was the skin composed of three important components, that is the epidermis, cutis and subcutis. So below the skin there is another layer present which is called musculature. As the name implies, musculature means muscles are present. So just below the skin, muscles are present which forms the greater part of body wall, and they are very thick. As you can see, these are the muscles. So on the dorsolateral side, so this is the dorsal part of the branchiostoma and this part is the lateral side. So on the dorsolateral side, they are very thick. And why on dorsolateral side they are very thick? As why? Because notochord and nerve cord is present in this region. So, and also you can see these muscles show metameric segmentations. As you can see, they are divided into blocks. So this type of division is called metameric segmentation, and they are arranged throughout the length from anterior most to the posterior most region. Means from trunk to tail, these muscles are present throughout the length of the body. And one important feature of these muscles is that they are V-shaped muscles. As you can see, this white portion, these are the V-shaped muscles. Characteristics of this feature of these muscles, and these muscles are called myotomes or myomeres. The pointed apex, always remember, the pointed apex of the myotome or myomere is always directed towards the anterior side of the branchiostoma. And there is a species of branchiostoma, that is lanceolatum. Branchiostoma lanceolatum. There are 60 to 62 myotomes present on either side of the body, and they alternate with those of the opposite sides. So these myotomes, as we can see, these are the blocks of the muscles which we call myotomes. These are enveloped in a very thin connective tissue layer. So इन myotomes के चारों ओर एक पतली सी connective layer present होती है which separates one myotome from the other. As you can see, this black portion. So these connective tissue partitions are called myosepta or myocomata, right? And these muscles are striped and they are arranged longitudinally and attached at both of the ends by two successive myocomata. At this side they are attached by the myocomata, and at this side they are attached by the myocomata. Now, the function of myotomes is the lateral undulating movement of body, as they can be twisted sideways rapidly. तो ये ब्रैंकियोस्टोमा को हेल्प करते हैं during lateral undulating movement. Besides these longitudinal muscles, which we call myotomes or myomeres, there is one more muscle which is present, and these muscles are called transverse muscles. We cannot see the transverse muscles in this diagram, but I'll let you know the position of transverse muscles. They run across. As you can see, these are the metapleural folds. So these muscles are present transversely like this. So transverse muscles are present in the metapleural folds. Now the function of these transfer muscles is that they help in contraction so that the water is derived from atrial cavity. So this is the atrial cavity, the whole cavity. So from atrial cavity, the water is derived out to the atrial pore. So in case of myotome of myomeres, they were helping in lateral undulating movement of the entire body, whereas transverse muscles, which are present in the metapleural folds, they contract and help in driving the water out from atrial cavity through the atriopore. And the last one is peritoneum. The peritoneum word kahin pe bhi aata hai, तो that means the simple thin membrane. Now peritoneum is of two types. Generally हम इसको science में use करते हैं. If you came up across the word parietal peritoneum, so that means the membrane which lines the abdominal and pelvic region or cavities. And if you come across the word visceral peritoneum, then it encloses or lines the viscera or abdominal organs of the body. So in case of branchiostoma, the peritoneum is parietal peritoneum. So the muscle, all these muscles which we call myotome are internally lined by a thin layer of parietal peritoneum. Now why we called it parietal? As I told you, key parietal peritoneum is that peritoneum which lines the abdominal as well as pelvic cavities. And as you can see, these muscles extend from the abdominal part up to the pelvic region and part. So this peritoneum is called as parietal peritoneum. Thank you.